Now we have two more speakers, and I'd like you to give for Tommy Robinson. Let's have Tommy.
Who's had enough? Who is fed up? Are any of you represented in Parliament? You fascist figures. I am fed up of looking at the TV and seeing no one that represents me. I'm fed up of being told that I'm a fringe movement, that I'm alienated, that I'm on the outside. We are the mainstream. For too long, we've allowed a minority to dictate to us. For too long. I will stand in front of you and I will make mistakes. I am granted to make mistakes, but know one thing. I care. I love you. I do everything I can. And I stand here and I will do things wrong and I will make mistakes. But I do everything I do for the right reason. I would sacrifice for you. I would bleed for you because I love you. For too long, traitors, 90% of the MPs for Labour are middle class. Where is your representatives? Where is the person who represents you? Who thinks like you? Who cares like you? Who gives a fuck like you? Many people that I respect, but Gerard Batten is one of those people. Let me read you through some statistics. If we can get it up on the screen, it'd be great. 17.4 million people voted to leave. 16.1 million people voted to remain. But by constituency, 604 constituencies voted to leave, 242 constituencies voted to remain. Constituency by party, Labour, 148 constituencies vote to leave, 84 voted to remain. Conservatives, 247 constituencies voted to leave, 80 voted to remain. By region, 9 regions voted to leave, 3 voted to remain. By MP, 160 voted to leave, 486 voted to remain. Your representatives are betraying you.
Traitors! All of them!
I stand here and I say, why are you all here? You are here because of democracy. Men and women went before you. They sacrificed, they gave, they bled, and they gave everything so you were free. Freedom is not free. People have get before every single one of you. Well, I ask you tonight, will you give that freedom away?
Over our dead bodies!
Your ancestors, every single one of you, your ancestors, when they were 14 years old, they pretended they were 16 years old. They run, they fought, and they bled. Why did they bleed? To give you freedom. To give you the right to choose. Every single one of you. People have to fight and they have to die for independence. We got it through a vote. We got it through a vote. And the fear-mongering was massive. We got told and you got told our house prices would depreciate by 30%. Medical supplies, there would be no medical supplies. There would be no food on the shelves. And we still voted to leave. Barack Obama. They flew every single globalist into our country to terrify you, to tell you how bad it would be, how wrong it would be, how the nation state is terrible, and everything would go wrong. And even in the face of all that opposition, we still chose freedom. So, I'm losing my voice, sorry Joe. I'd say the main message to understand, we did not vote for the economy. Stop blackmailing us with the economy or jobs or finance. We voted for culture, for identity. We voted as independent British people in charge of our own destiny. I had some videos to show. One thing I'll explain is that Gerard Batten has put his reputation on the line. I look at many political parties. I watched in admiration at Nigel Farage for 10 years or 20 years. And then I realised that he doesn't care about you. He's exactly the same as a part of the establishment. I watched as he called you tattooed knuckle-dragging thugs. What I'd ask, or I'd say, I want an honest answer here. If you're standing in this crowd, please, if you are a paid-up member of UKIP, put your hand in the air. So that's the members of UKIP. Keep your hand in the air. Gerard, awkward. We've had a lot of discussion about me joining UKIP. If this is democracy, we are all here for democracy. Keep your hands in the air. Would you want to see me stand in a parliamentary election for UKIP? a leadership election. There are not many politicians who I personally have watched that I would vote for. Not many. In fact, there's none. The only person who I listened to was Gerard Batten. And I'll ask one single thing. UKIP members, put your hand in the air. If I joined UKIP, put your hands in the air. Revolutionise the working class community in this country. Give them someone to vote for. Get the traitors out of the establishment and electrify the people once and for all. Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn, if you're watching this is the real working class community in this country. God save the Queen. Can I join?
Ladies and gentlemen, let us wind up. There are pubs to be gone to. I've just done a television interview behind the stand, and the interviewer introduced this item, and they said that I was on a platform here with far-right activist Tommy Robinson. I was then. That was the news report. The reporter then started to ask me a question. And I said, before I answer anything, I'm going to say, Tommy Robinson is not far right. If he was, I wouldn't be standing on a platform with him, and I wouldn't have had anything to do with it. Tommy will probably be the first to tell you that he's not a saint. But neither is he the demon that the mainstream media and political opponents paint him to be. I have got associated with Tommy and I have defended him for a very good reason. Because it's the morally right thing to do. Having said that, I'd appreciate it if you don't get me into any more trouble, Tommy. Today, if you think that your country should be governed by its own democratically elected parliament in accordance with its own laws and traditions and constitution, that makes you far right. If you think that immigration should be controlled, that makes you far right and xenophobic. If you think that you're not too keen on fundamentalist and literalist Islamic practices growing in your country, that makes you a Nazi. None of those things are true. They mean that you are a patriot that wants to live in your own country in peace with your fellow citizens, under your own laws, your own constitution and your own democratic government. Today we are supposed to leave the European Union, and that has been betrayed. There will be more betrayals as we go along. Today was either going to be a celebration or a protest. It's both. First of all, we celebrated the fact that we achieved the referendum and we voted to leave. And it is a protest of what those people over there have done with the people's decision. Let's remember something. When UKIP was formed all those years ago, Plan A was to have a patriotic government that took us out of the European Union according to its own, or under its own steam. Plan B was to have a referendum. Of course, under our first past the post electoral system, UKIP didn't manage to win seats in Parliament in order to bring about Plan A. But we did achieve sufficient electoral threat to achieve Plan B, and we had the referendum, which, as I have just said to you, has been betrayed. We now have to go back to Plan A. We have to build up the electoral threat. We have to get MPs elected. We have to make them do what they were supposed to do under common decency and democratic accountability. You can either live on your knees in the European Union, or you can live on your feet outside it. Now, I'm going to finish. Politics is often compared to warfare. There are long periods when you are gathering resources, when you are training, when you are planning. And those long periods of preparation live up to short periods of furious activity. Instead of battles and wars, they're called elections, and they usually last 3 to 4 weeks. We are always in the planning period in order to be prepared for the furious periods of election. But soldiers also need some esprit de corps building and some identity building, and that's why they have parades. They bring their flags and their uniforms, and they parade and they show the world their strength. This is what you have done today. This is the parade of the Brexiteers and the Democrats. Now you have to go off and you have to prepare and you have to train for those furious periods of activity which are elections. We have a local election on the 2nd of May. I hope that many of you will be candidates. I hope you are all going to vote UKIP. Let's show what we can do next month or in early May. And we may find that we have a European election on our hands. That is actually the last thing I want, because it means we haven't left the European Union. But if we do, UKIP will win big, because it's proportional representation. People get what they vote for in the proportions they voted for it. So we are going to do battle with the anti-democrats on behalf of the democracy we love. Thank you very much for joining us.
Do you know what she called Tommy? She's telling people Tommy.
Thank you very much indeed. Gerard Batten, leader of UKIP. Thank you all very much indeed for coming. It's not quite over. I think we're going to have a bit of music, and then after that...
Does he know?
Can you wave your flags furiously? I want some nice photographs for the election literature.
Okay, there you go. Wave your flags, please. Wave your flags. Okay. So we're coming to the end now of the speakers. There are going to be some videos, and Janice Atkinson is going to come back and introduce them. They're going to be shown here. They're from politicians across Europe who are supporting us here today, so she's going to introduce them. But just before she comes up, I think we've got a little bit of music for you, okay? Tells you who we are. We are the champion.